thought I'd share how I make little tea light candles with beeswax and coconut oil. I want to make my own tea light candles because the ones you find at the store are often made with paraffin wax, and that's like a kind of like a petroleum-based wax. So when it's like lit and it like a light, it puts like soot and other carcinogens into the air, which I don't want to breathe in. So I thought I'd make my own versions. So I ordered these little tea light tins and little wicks online, and I've just finished melting the beeswax and coconut oil here. So it's just finished melting. Now beeswax kind of hardens really quickly, so if it starts to harden, I just put it back on the stove top as I'm pouring it in, and then it just helps to remelt it again. Beeswax I really like because it's a clean wax, so when it actually lights, it actually helps to purify the air around you, so it's really, really good. So the beeswax I used was actually one that I got from like a local bee supplier. The beeswax itself was actually like in its raw state, like it had impurities all through it yesterday when I got it. So to help kind of clean it and make it usable, I actually heat treated it. So I put it in a double boiler, kind of like this, where there's water in the bottom of the saucepan, and I put the beeswax on top in a bowl and I melt it until it's completely melted. And then I scoop out all the other impurities and things so that it's kind of clean, and then I pour it into a mold, just like this one. It's kind of like a block mold, and let it harden again, and then it's ready to use. So I just cut a bit off the end and melted it in this little double boiler that I made here with sort of like water at the bottom, put the beeswax on the top, and waited for that to melt. And then I added in some coconut oil. So I used about it's like a 2-to-1 ratio. So however much beeswax you want to use, half coconut oil. So that's what I did. I used probably around 2 cups of beeswax and 1 cup of coconut oil. I do it on the stovetop because when you put the coconut oil in with the beeswax, it like immediately like hardens the beeswax inside the saucepan, even while it's on the stovetop, because the cold oil just solidifies the wax. It hardens really quickly. But then you just keep stirring it through and it melts it all again. So it's this nice liquefied state. So now all I have to do is pop the little beeswax into the tins, and my tea lights are ready to go. Hey Melissa. Oh, thank you. It's lovely to have you join me on here. Thank you so much for coming along. I'm just making tea light candles, so little ones that I can just pop around my home. I like lighting candles at night. I find that it's less harsh than putting on like normal lighting, like with blue light and stuff. I'm going to pop this down here so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'll move this over. I'll probably chose a bowl that's probably just a little bit too small because I'm worried it's going to tip everywhere. It's kind of like a messy kind of DIY to do, but I really like making candles. And to clean at the end, it's super easy. You just literally wait for the beeswax to harden and then just sort of wipe it off the equipment that you use. It's really good. I use like really boiling hot water, and I just soak like a paper towel and I just sort of clean around. You don't want to pour beeswax down the sink because it will solidify in your pipes and clog the pipes over time. So you want to prefer to kind of clean it and then either put it in the compost or in the bin. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm just making tea light candles today. I've already made one. So all I'm doing now is I'm pouring the wax that I've just melted. I used beeswax and coconut oil. So it was a 2-to-1 ratio of beeswax and then coconut oil. So whatever beeswax you use, you want to use half coconut oil. I like using coconut oil with the beeswax because I find it makes the wax kind of burn more evenly, otherwise it tends to tunnel a lot, especially when I'm making bigger candles. But it also means that I don't have to use as much beeswax. I can sort of fill out the wax with a bit more coconut oil. I try and do this without making too much mess. Has anyone else made tea light candles before? I'd be curious to know. And if you did you use beeswax or did you use soy wax or other wax? I prefer not to use petroleum-based waxes, hence why I'm making my own candles today. So it means that I can choose which wax I want in my candles. So I like beeswax because it purifies the air when lit. It has like negative ions that are released, so it can actually go around and purify indoor air a lot more. Whereas petroleum releases like chemicals like soot into the air when lit. So when you're breathing it in, you're also breathing in those carcinogenic chemicals, which I prefer not to do. So beeswax actually hardens like really quickly. So I'm hoping by the end of this you'll be able to see kind of what they look like once they've set. Like this first one I've done is already starting to set. You can see it around the edge. I prefer not to light them for about a day because I like to make sure that the wax has completely hardened. I think you can, like with beeswax it sets a lot faster than soy wax and other waxes, but I prefer still to leave it longer because just so that you don't start lighting it and all of a sudden it just collapses on you because it hasn't hardened properly. These are just little tea light candles for those that are just joined. I really like candles in my room. Again, I like having the soft lighting at night rather than having strong blue lights on in my room. I am looking to get like a red light lamp. You can get like the bulbs, I know, from different places. So I want to go grab some of those when I'm out and about soon, and just put that in the lamps that I use in my room so that you have the softer lighting rather than the harsh like white light, like blue light that's kind of wakes you up rather than puts you to sleep at night. Does anyone else actually make candles? Not necessarily tea lights, but like normal candles? I'd be curious to know. Hey Meg! I am! I told my sisters that I was doing a live and they've just joined. I think this is the first one they've caught because every time I do it, they're like, they just miss it. Or I didn't tell them about the other ones earlier on. So it's nice to have them on. I'm making tea light candles. You can source beeswax at many places. Like I used to get beeswax online, but I've just found that it can be quite expensive, like overly priced. Because now I've found beeswax very cheap in like local vendors around, like at markets. Like at this local markets near me, you can get a like pound of beeswax or a kilo. I think it's a kilo of beeswax for $16. Whereas I used to pay so much more for like tiny little containers of beeswax and things. It does come in a block, so it takes longer to melt unless you like grate it. You can grate the beeswax and it takes like a lot less time to melt, but I just tend to save the hassle. I just chop the block and just melt that. It just takes a little bit longer, but I'm in no rush. So the first one's actually pretty much solidified now. Good thing about these tea lights is it doesn't take long to fully harden because they're not as big as other candles that I've made, like glass ones, where there's way more wax in it. So you could probably use it a lot quicker. Like you probably wouldn't have to wait a day for the wax to harden. Probably only need to wait a few hours and it'd be good to go and you could light it pretty quick. But I'll show you, see if I can show you. So that is the little tea lights. Still quite warm, not too hot, but means that it's probably not set. I find that if it's completely cold and it's been there for a few hours, it's pretty good to go. You can light it pretty quickly. I will have to put this back on the stovetop soon because the beeswax is starting to solidify again. So I'll show you guys a few more and then probably wrap it up. But these are also great to use if you have like a wax melt. If you've seen those wax melt kind of devices, where there's like, you can put like a block of wax on top that's really highly scented, and you put a little tea light underneath, and it melts the wax slowly over time. It diffuses the scent. It's kind of like a essential oil diffuser, but because it's in the wax, it releases the scent for longer periods of time, and you can just keep reusing the wax over and over again till the scent dissipates. I have made a video of it on my channel. I used an electric wax melt burner, but you can use ones that are just purely lit by candle. So the candle is what heats the wax and makes it diffuse that little wax melt on top with the essential oils in it. It's super nice. It's great if you want something because candles burn quite quickly. These wax melts are great. They're a bit slower, so you don't have to go through so many candles. You can just use these wax melts over and over again, and they usually hold more scent in them than normal candles. So I like to switch between those if I want to scent my room up or something, or if I want more of a beautiful smell wafting through my room or my area that I'm in. I use the wax melts. Okay. Ooh. Okay. I really you can add essential oils into these as well. When you do it, you just pop them in at the end once the wax is off heat, because if you put essential oils in while the wax is still melting, it evaporates the oils, so you end up with no scent left. So I usually find that once the wax is cooled a little bit, then I'll add in how many essential oil drops I want, and it just gives a beautiful fragrance. But I find with beeswax it has a honey scent to it, so it smells really, really nice anyway. So I tend not to bother when making beeswax candles to put any scent in. With soy wax ones I usually do, because it's a bit more of a neutral scent, you can't smell anything. So I prefer to do it with those ones. But with beeswax I quite like the honey scent that comes with it. Yeah. These are my other candles, all done. Love it. It smells so nice. Love honey. Yeah. That's pretty much how I make tea light candles. I'll finish these ones up. I'll have to put this back on heat soon. Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you make tea light candles yourself or you've made them before. I'd love to know. Always like hearing what everyone gets up to. I hope you enjoy this lovely day. We're having a very rainy day here on the coast, so it's like an indoor day, hence why I'm making candles and things. But if you're in somewhere sunny, I hope it's a lovely sunny day for you, or wherever you are. Enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you.